That said, I don't ride my bicycle on Main Street. In Wolfville, I don't ride my bicycle on Highway 1 anywhere. I find the traffic close, I find the roads narrow, and I don't enjoy it. So when I want to go recreational biking, I choose a different street. Because I'm just biking for fun, I don't have to ride on Main Street, so I avoid that one. If I do have to ride on Main Street, I don't ride on the sidewalks, except at a slow speed, not going very far. Sidewalks are for pedestrians. They're not for bicycles, they're not made for bicycles, and just as cyclists are threatened and occasionally fearful when a car goes by much too fast, pedestrians feel the same way when a bicycle goes by much too fast. That said, Wolfville doesn't have any bike lanes. The thing that looks like a bike lane over on the side of the road is not a bike lane, it's actually for removing snow. So we need to find a place to put the bicycles, but the sidewalk isn't it. Thank you.
I ride my bike every day. It's a little fixie that my husband fixed that for me. And I'm a reformed sidewalk cyclist. I used to think it was okay if I went really slow, and I've been listening to people that it's not okay at all. So I'm learning to ride on the road as a car. It's not actually that hard, thanks to the highly controversial four-way stop. Now the cars go way slower on Main, so they're just about my speed. I really think we need to move forward and start getting going with some of the recommendations when we have the time and the resources in the transportation study. One of them was to have a dedicated sidewalk, a dedicated cycling lane on Main, and that's where I'd like to see it. Thanks.
Okay, our next question is for Hugh, Gary, and Jeff. What kinds of initiatives would the candidates propose in regards to community policing in Wolfville? Community policing?
We already have one thing, and one of these people sits, Morris McKee sits on my police advisory committee, and that is Citizens on Patrol. But we talked about bringing in Acadia students. Acadia students sitting with our police and going around. Not only would they learn, a long time ago they used to have an Acadia Provo, sort of a police, semi-police force that looked after affairs on council. I think we talked about, I think they're called the red, white and blue, or something like that. But the whole idea is to engage our own students. There's a lot of activity on council, on campus, that could be assisted greatly if we had students going around to these various events where alcohol is involved. So those things, that's one way to start and engage the student population as well.
I totally agree with you. When I was on the Wolfville Police Department, we did have some liaison with the Acadia Student Union, which used to have its own campus police. Now they have their own security system. So it would be advantageous to both the town and to the university if we can get more cooperation between those two organizations.
Well, I'm a believer in the foot patrol. I like to see the officers from the police station walking not only through the day but even through the evening on the street, so that there's some presence with our local force. We talk about sharing of services. One of the sharing of services I think that can be done, can be taken advantage of in Wolfville, is the sharing of services between Acadia Safety and Security and the town of Wolfville, the RCMP we use in town. So I see those people involved sharing that service, and the Team Blue and the Team Red that Hugh referred to as well. Bringing those inside is not, we have to worry about gang-related warfare, that type of thing. It's typically just the presence, there's some respect, and it's all part, I feel, of community. And that's where community policing comes in. It's sense of community for all.
The next question is for Keith, Carl, and David. What is the role of Wolfville School in our town, and how would you ensure that it fulfills that role?
Clearly, the school plays an integral role. A community is a school. It draws our families. It is the center of activity for many of us. Our challenge with the school is to get through this one last step, and that is to get to the top of the list for the renovation. And I've been very active over the last 4 years in terms of my presentation during the school review and lobbying Ramona and Minister Jennings and another minister to ensure that they know that the importance of this school and the need for us to have that renovation done. We've waited far too long. It's important that schools remain in the center of communities, not out in the farmlands. And I pleaded this from a community point of view and from a sustainability point of view, that we must retain the school in our town, and the renovation is long overdue. Thank you.
I too am a big supporter of the Wolfville School. I think the Wolfville School is a big part of our community, and I think we just have to keep lobbying the province to get us on the top of the list. We were on the top of the list, and then we were taken off, and now we're trying to get back on again. So I think we have to fight diligently and make sure that that happens with our citizens on board with us. Thank you.
The role of Wolfville School is at the heart of our community. I was fortunate enough to be a teacher at Wolfville School, to have 2 children who went through Wolfville School. It's an excellent school. If you notice by times what students are at the top in terms of many different indicators of excellent students, Wolfville School is there year after year after year. And we're proud of those students. And it's partly because of, as I said before, the type of people we attract to Wolfville. We have a very highly educated populace, and that requires that we maintain that sense of heart of the school. And the other thing that Wolfville School provides us is recreational activities. There's many programs that go on at Wolfville School that if we didn't have that resource, those things wouldn't happen. So it's just such a vital resource to this town. And I think any council that I will ever be part of will see the school as a center of the community. Thank you.
This question is for Wendy, Dan, and Mercedes. Can you name any of the positive services provided to the community by Acadia University? What do you plan to do to improve upon this or upon these services?
Thank you. There are, of course, many positive services. At Halloween, there are a number of young ladies that come around to our houses and collect for the food bank. There are other activities during the year where students are collecting money for charities. They are involved in just a myriad of volunteer activities in our community. I think that Acadia as a university provides us just tremendous opportunities for research. I know that the 2 new institutes, I'll call them, the Wine Institute, may not be the right name, and the Tidal Energy are 2 new innovations at the university that both help us in terms of our needs in this province, but also have the opportunity for spin-off businesses. I think those are the kinds of things that we can build on to help us grow our economy and just make Wolfville more, much better well-known, so that people like us and like you want to come and live here. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I think the relationship between the town and between Acadia University is a lot closer recently under the new president, Ivany, than it has been in the past. And I think Acadia has done a lot to work with the town, and I think the town needs to continue that relationship in the positive way it's going. The other services, first of all the wonderful physical services that Acadia provides, the swimming pool, the fantastic swimming pool, the gym courts, all those things, the soccer fields. We have all of these because the university is here, and that's a wonderful opportunity for the town to take advantage of these. They are available when the university doesn't need them. And then the incubators and the IT developments that Wendy was mentioning. And finally, just the youth and the vitality and the education and that kind of atmosphere which the school brings to the town, I think is very valuable. Thank you.
Well, you would think being third that my answer would be absolutely the best. But what I feel like is that Wendy and Dan have said everything that I want to say. And if I was on council, I wouldn't have to say anything because it had already been done.